Hello, my name is Christian Gary, and I'm the creator of ANIMEC. ANIMEC is a third person anime inspired animation and character showcase game. I wanted to utilize Unreal Engine in order to showcase my skills to create characters and animations built for gameplay and cinematic purposes. So initially, Annie started out as just a character for fun, something that I did on the side. But as I started following the tutorial and adding more detail into her model, I discovered I want to actually use this character for Capstone because of how much attention to detail I'm putting into her. So I went through and I created Annie completely. She has full hair rig, facial expression rig, IK bones, and everything. This allows me to fully control how she looks within the gameplay and cutscene animations. So on Annie's model here, I utilized a subdivision modifier in order to increase her topology. This helped me out because I was initially working with a lower poly model of her. This allowed me to rig, texture, and create the facial expressions without much trouble. So that way I could just apply the subdivision modifier in order to increase the topology and make her look nicer for close up shots, such as the one on the left. When initially planning out the mech, I wanted Annie to be around 5'7". That's how I have her scaled within Blender, so that way she would transition well over into Unreal Engine. With the mech, however, I started doing research into anime mechs, how they scale them, how they design them. Gundam utilizes around 60 feet for their mech size, while Titanfall uses somewhere around 20 feet. There's an anime that is very similar to how my mechs are designed called Code Geass. Theirs is around 16 feet tall, so I decided to go around 18 feet tall in order to have that average between the Code Geass mechs and the Titanfall mechs. Funny enough, Code Geass actually utilizes the same backpack system that I'm showing in the pictures on the right here to allow the pilots to get in and out of the mechs with ease. So I created the Recon mech in order I designed the Recon mech to look more like something you would see in an actual anime, such as beveling edges around like the legs or the arms to give that shine and help give that detail when the mechs are being showcased within cell shading lighting, which is what I was also using for my capstone. I also created the Wolf Mech with the same design philosophy while also utilizing a bone collection system so that way I could easily hide or show bones, such as the hands as an example. The Recon Mech and the Wolf Mech have two very different hands. However, they're utilizing the same rig. So I have the hands, the tail, and the ears to be a part of that bone collection that I could easily swap out along with the head and shoulder pads as well. As you can see with the textures on the right, the textures also follow this collection system. The primary body, arms, and the palms of the hands all are on the left texture sheet there, along with the visor. And then on the right are the parts you would swap out, such as the head, hands, and tail as well. And on the left, we have Annie's textures for her primary body and hair. And then on the right, we have top right, we have her clothing and her armor, and then also her robot arm texture as well, along with her eyes there. This allowed me to swap from the Annie mode to the alpha mode throughout the cutscene. I decided to go for and utilize a cell shader and outlining in order to better showcase the models. This is because anime doesn't typically have normal default shading with a gradient. It uses a clamp to clamp down on those values and create a nice harsh line to make it look like it's been drawn, such as what's being showcased on the left here with Annie within the cell shading and outlining. The cell shader is extremely customizable, allowing me to change the thresholds of light values that allows it to be extremely customizable, which helped me out a lot. With Annie and Alpha's transition, I needed something that would seem appealing. When first planning this out, I wanted a transition to go from the top of her hair to the bottom of her hair, going over her face and her eyes in order to change the those colors. So I created a material that allows you to be able to just change a slider and it changes the hair. But I also have the eyes on a separate material instance so that way I could change that separately to have overlapping action. My current level layout is very similar to the original level layout. However, I made some changes in order to better accommodate how actual cities are made, such as road width, how street corners are actual corners and not angles, such as what I did in drew in the original level layout. This allowed me to make the city feel more like a city rather than just a set the characters within. Speaking of the level, I utilized two assets packs for the level. I used Shuya's Tokyo Stylized Environment pack, which was a modular system that allowed me to create my entire city from just these building blocks. I also used Serlo's Stylized Volumetric Cloud shader in order to get clouds that would seem visually appealing while also staying within that anime style. This is what the level looks like using both of those asset packs together and my city design. I was able to hand place all of the assets, such as the walls, doors, floors, the ground paint, trees, everything, in order to create a level that I was happy with. And that's all. Thank you. I hope you enjoy ANI Mech.